What's going on, guys? It's Derek Smith over here with your podcast for the new year, 1/1/2020. I wanted to wait until the new year, hit this podcast off, and also I was a little bit busy this week, so I figured it'd be good to start the new year with a podcast. So, want a quick shout out, as always, Country Crush, Nat Fit, Lion Straps. Recently, Country Crush gave me every single type of their handles for me to test out and to review. So I will be releasing a video pretty soon on all the attachments you can put on a Raptor handle. I believe he gave me all of them. So big shout out to Ray Cote for helping me out with that. I'm excited to try them all out, and I'll release that video for you guys pretty soon. Quick update what's going on with me. Recently had a big practice this past weekend. The bunch of people came out to the team practice. So the Orange County team came out, which is one of the fastest growing teams in Southern California. They came out there, so it was good to have them. Big Tony Tomlinson and Alan and Hadzi and Cody Hadley and a bunch of people came out. Then Kyle Depew came up from San Diego with one of his guys. Scott Wynn came out. Oleg Mosiah came out. John Hoffman came out. So it was a really big practice. I think there was almost 40 people there. And we had a bunch of super matches. Practice super matches, though. They weren't real serious. No one had rested up for them or anything. They were just kind of with a day or two notice. So I pulled Big Tony, and we had 9 super matches. I'm going to release a practice video of that practice, which will have all the super matches in it. If you guys are interested, check it out. So that practice went well. When pulling with guys that are really high levels, like Tony Tomlinson and John Hoffman, pretty much in Southern California, as far as the super heavyweights go, us three kind of go back and forth, and we're the top super heavyweights in Southern California. So when the three of us get to a practice, there's a lot of pressure there, and there's no way you're leaving without your arms feeling like they're going to fall off. So, so it was a great practice. I'm really tore up. The super match, my super match with Tony, we went left and right-handed. Left-handed, he destroyed me. I figured he would. He's stronger than me. And then right-handed, I ended up winning. So they were good matches, though. You guys will see them if you check out the video. But there's a lot of stuff for me to cover on Reddit because it's been a week and a half. So let's get started on that right now. Starting with, 8 days ago, posted by NNQ2603. It's the Chance Shaw interview talking about his win over Nick Zinna. Nick Zinna, I don't know if a lot of you guys know who he is. He hasn't pulled in a little while on the big stage. He's I think he's a farmer or a country boy, or works on a farm, or his family owns a farm, something like that. And really strong dude, really nice guy. And Chance Shaw got a win on him at a tournament. I forget, it was a while ago, and I don't know, I'm kind of surprised people are still talking about it. But I forget what everybody was saying was the reason. Everybody was saying it was like Nick was hurt. I think he just got off a surgery, or something just happened or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And so people weren't giving Chance, the credit, of course. Who knows? I wasn't there. I don't know what shape Nick Zinna was in, and I know Chance is really strong, and he's young and healthy. We'll soon see Chance versus Ryan Bowen, which I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that match, and we'll see how that pans out. But the Chance Shaw versus Nick Zinna thing, I mean, who knows? I mean, if you're a gambling man, you would have had to put your money on Nick Zinna. So for a Chance to beat him like that, who knows? Who knows what could have happened, man? Chance is definitely explosive, so who knows? That's my thoughts on that match. That match is old, man. I'm not trying to talk about it too much. Moving forward, posted by Random Dust Bunny. Let's see. Nerves and strength. Been doing casual research lately, how nerve connection can immensely improve strength. The best example, in my opinion, to the uninitiated is to simply write with your non-dominant hand. You'd feel uncoordinated. You'd feel weak doing so. That, however, can be overcome with practice. You stimulate the growth of neural pathways, coordination, and strength gradually improves. When applied to strength or weight training, people who are new aren't able to lift as much, partially because of an untrained body, but also because the nervous system doesn't know how to handle such a load. It isn't always a physiological limitation. With the context in mind, just wanted to link this article I came across. Thought it's a worthy read. Might influence your training regimen. So I read the article. The article talks basically about if it gives an example of this girl. She basically has this like gripper type of thing, okay, in her hand, and she squeezes it once, and she can see to test how hard she could squeeze it. It tells you how many pounds per pounds of pressure you put on it. So she squeezes it once with her left hand. Then she trains it. Then she doesn't touch it with her left hand again. She trains only her right hand on the squeeze thing for like 12 days or something like that. And then she goes back and tries it again with her left hand. And her left hand, which she hadn't touched at all, had gained like 43% pressure or power. Because they say that because she was training with her right hand, it basically trained her nervous system on how to squeeze the ball, how to apply the strength and the coordination, and that carries over to both sides, your right and your left. So they're saying that, if your right leg was in a cast, if you still jumped and did squats, everything with your left leg, then when you took off your cast, you would still be coordinated and stuff. You might lose some of the muscle from not actively using the muscles, but the coordination and everything would be on point, right? So it's all about nervous system and stuff, and talks about your CNS, which really is a big deal, guys. For a fact, you guys need to start looking into your central nervous system and how taxing it is when you arm wrestle and you actually have a real tournament, because people think they can do tournaments back to back or super matches, days after each other. The thing that you tax the most is your nervous system, right? So a lot of times, like say those guys that went over recently and did Zloty and IFA, well, they were like 1 day apart. Your nervous system needs a week, 2 weeks to recover, for it to fully recover all your CNS. So it's like, and all your mitochondria and all that stuff has to come back. I went to a seminar once put on by Mazurenko, and that's pretty much all he talked about was energy and recovery and stuff like that. But yeah, you have to let yourself recover, and your CNS has to come back, so that way you can really start taxing your nervous system again. If you try to compete too soon after you've really gone all out, then you won't be able to apply yourself nearly as much. Even if your muscles are relatively unused, you still won't be able to. So if I did, heavy squats in one workout earlier in the morning, and then later I go do bicep curls, even though they're totally different muscles, I won't be able to bicep curl nearly as much as I would if I just did a fresh bicep curl day, because my central nervous system will be too taxed to allow me to access that power. So keep that in mind, guys. It actually is a really big deal, especially when it comes to tournament performances and stuff like that. Making sure you're not lifting anything heavy leading up to an event, not because of it tearing down your muscles, but because of it taxing your nervous system. So it's like, it really affects how well you can perform, guys. It's a big deal. Okay, moving forward. And you can train it, by the way. You can train your nervous system. That's what like squats and heavy deadlifts and big compound movements like that help train your nervous system by, peaking it and controlling it and working with it. Definitely look into that, guys. Posted by Snickhat. It's a picture of him wearing a Vendetta Elite jersey from Mazurenko, titled "I Already Feel Stronger." Congratulations, man. I'm glad that shirt makes you feel stronger. Hopefully you are stronger. I don't have anything else to say about that. Moving forward, posted by Ryan Blue Bowen. The breakdown is back. He did a breakdown of Evgeny Prudnik and Kirgali Angurbayev. Those names are getting hard to pronounce. I did not watch this one, but generally Ryan's breakdowns are pretty spot on. I definitely give Ryan a ton of credit. He is a very smart arm wrestler, and he knows what he's talking about for sure. So you guys check that out, and you guys can definitely learn a lot. Just make sure you understand the verbiage he's using, the words, and what they mean. Okay, moving forward, posted by Tube Karcher. Do you guys train through elbow pain? A few days after table practice, my arms are pretty screwed. Things like pronation and supination are pretty painful. Do you guys wait for it to be 100% gone or train through it? I'm not talking elbows completely shot, but that get aggravated through training. Okay, so you're talking about your nerves in your elbows are inflamed, and it's almost like a tennis elbow thing, and so it sounds like you're talking about. So it's not about muscles being tore down or anything like that. It's about your nerves being inflamed. If that is what you're talking about, if you're talking about do people just train through it? No, because you said pronation and supination are pretty painful as well. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what you're trying to figure out what's going on in your arms. Is it nerve pain, or is it joint pain, or is it tendon pain or muscle pain? But so anyway, depending on what it is, guys, this is the biggest thing I've been learning lately, is that when the theme of my life and my energy lately has been going towards how to get stronger for arm wrestling. Not, I mean, I've gotten stronger for arm wrestling. It's taken a long time, and there's a lot of different ideas out there. But I've been in search so much of how to get stronger specifically for arm wrestling, and how the strongest arm wrestlers in the world did it, and how a lot of the Europeans continue to do it, and all that stuff. That's where the bulk of my time is going into, is just to researching that stuff. One of the biggest things I'm understanding is that the ability to heal and recovery is huge. That's the biggest thing, especially Americans do differently than some of the world champions around the world, is your recovery. It's controlling your CNS. It's controlling how tore down your muscles are and how much you recover before you lift again. Right? There's a lot of differences, but that's the major one that I'm noticing, is that they take recovery very serious. Like, they want to recover pretty much 100% before you start taxing that muscle again. Americans are used to, tear the muscle down to 50%, it'll get up to 70%, and then we'll hit it again. And we'll never let it really fully recover. I feel like they do. They let it fully recover, and so I think that's a big difference, guys. So, like I said, I don't know exactly which type of pain you're talking about in this, if it's nerves or what it is, but either way, take your time and make sure it's healed up. Don't train through the pain like that. Find a different muscle to work, and then let that one heal up, is my best advice for you. Moving forward, posted by Top Roll King, my highlights. It's a highlight of Artem's year of arm wrestling. So you guys check that out, and you can see Artem arm wrestle for a year. I mean, I didn't watch. I've seen a bunch of his matches, throughout the year, but I didn't watch his highlight. I know Artem beat Chad Silvers this year, which is a huge win. If you guys don't know who Chad Silvers is, YouTube search Chad Silvers, and there's I think there's a montage of him out there somewhere. Bad dude. That's a bad dude. Looks like, in the videos you're like, wait, that guy weighs I think under 200 pounds, and he looks like he has upper body of like a 260 pound dude. It's crazy. Yeah. All right. So moving forward, good job on that win, Artem. Moving forward, posted by MAGA Arms. Arm wrestler versus squats, helpful diet tips for gains. I kind of skimmed through this video, and he's training in arm wrestling lifts in the gym, and then at the end he does squats, and then because he is trying to gain weight to go up in a weight class, he says. So if that's your goal, then yeah, squats, great, dude. There's a ton of muscle mass you can gain in your legs. But yeah, I always tell people, like when it comes to squats and working your legs out, does it have benefits? Of course. But it really matters about, especially if you're a lighter guy, when you start working on your legs like that, you're going to start adding on pounds. It'll definitely make you heavier. So keep that in mind. A lot of the top arm wrestlers in the world don't do squats and stuff like that intentionally, because they don't want to add on a ton of weight. And they want to, any weight they do have, they want to keep it in their upper body, right, where they're going to be using it mostly. Now, I know people are listening to this and they're like, well, squats give you a good solid base and it helps release testosterone. And I know all that stuff, but you have to prioritize what's most important for arm wrestling. Do those things help? Yes, somewhat, right? But are they a top priority as far as helping you go to the next level of your arm wrestling journey, especially if you're trying to stay in a weight class? Then no, squats aren't the most important thing. So yeah, they help, but they're way down the list as far as priorities. Now for me, I can do squats because I'm a super heavyweight, and it doesn't matter what I weigh. But yeah, most guys don't trip out on the squats, guys. It's like depending on if you're struggling for a weight class. Moving forward, posted by Dog 8 Man. Questions for rehab. Does anyone get pain in their lower thumb knuckle? And if so, how do you fix it? Man, is it in the tendon? Is it in the bone? Is it in the muscle? You guys, we have to get more specific on a lot of these questions because they're really vague. Yeah, sometimes I get pain in my thumb knuckle. Like, it depends on what I'm doing and how I was gripping, and a lot of times it comes from when I'm wearing the straps, and the strap will be cutting into like the nerves of your hand a little bit when it's tightened up. But time and hot cold and active rehab and stuff, moving your thumb lightly just getting some blood around there. I mean, those are the best. That's the best tips I can give you. As with anything that you injure, taking time, taking it easy, really understanding how you hurt it and why, and working around that and getting some blood to it so it can heal it up. Just take your time, man. Don't rush it with the injury there. Then train with your other hand and get strong. All right, moving forward. Posted by Lord Tickle Pickle. Pain from wrist curls. When I do full range of motion wrist curls, I get a really splintering pain in the ulnar side of my wrist. That's like the bottom part of your wrist, opposite of your thumb. I tried resting it and not doing full range wrist curls, and it's kind of gone away. But now when I do my arm wrestling range wrist curls, I also get pain sometimes. Any ideas what causes this? My theory is that I have trained pronation too much and not enough supination, and I have made muscle imbalances as I train pronation every day and I don't train supination. Well, you definitely sound imbalanced if you don't ever train supination. Don't get me wrong, I don't think anybody trains... I don't think most people train supination as much as they train pronation. There's more examples on an arm wrestling table where you would pronate than you would supinate, for sure. Don't get me wrong, supination does play a part. There are times where you definitely have to supinate, like sinking in a hook when you're pressing or shoulder rolling. There's a lot of times you have to supinate, but there's more examples of when you would pronate, in my opinion. So, yeah, most people train it, 70-30. Or so, supination over pronation over supination. But yeah, your pain from wrist curls, I mean, it sounds like you have it right, man. I mean, if it's just a chronic pain that shows up every once in a while, like an imbalance, then you probably are over stimulating one side and not the other. So add some balance to your arm. Now, if it's something that, an event happened and you felt something crack, then that's something different, right? Then you probably have an injury. So try training it lightly, feel it out. There's definitely arm wrestling and training for arm wrestling causes a ton of imbalances, you guys. You really always have to make sure you work your opposite angles when training for arm wrestling, or you will become lopsided as hell really quickly. So always make sure you guys are balanced as athletes and stuff, and balancing out your bodies, especially in your shoulders. You'll start getting some crazy shoulder pains. It's probably because you're overbuilt on one side of your shoulder. So your rear delts, most arm wrestlers never touch their rear delts. You guys, that's going to hurt. I highly advise you guys to at least do some kind of rear delt exercise every week, at least. So yeah, man, take your time, feel it out. Hopefully it's just an imbalance, and you can work on that. Moving forward, posted by Min Hale. 8 months ago, my friend beat me in arm wrestling. I've been training hard to get back at him. Today, I got my revenge. Oh, that's you, Min Hale. Okay. Yeah, you're pretty active on here, man. And now we get to see a video of you arm wrestling. Good job. I could see you. Dude, you're in your first one, in the first match against that dude, you let him get way too much of your hand. And in the second match here, you can see that you're actively posting and top rolling, and you have pressure in his fingertips, and he can't seem to get a hold of you. And because he can't get a hold of you, he doesn't really know what to do. So it was good. That was good, man. You definitely attacked his hand in the second match really well. Congratulations on working hard and beating somebody and achieving your goal. Good job, man. Let's see. Moving forward, posted by Luca9129, Levon Saganashvili, and Lasha Talakhadze. Levon got a gift from Georgian developer company Archie Group. Levon now has an apartment in the center of, I can't pronounce it, Tbilisi? I think that's it. So basically, Levon and the top powerlifter from Georgia, who's sets world records all the time, they were given apartments in the city, in a major city. That's awesome. That's amazing. Congratulations, Levon. If somehow you listen to this, you were given an apartment for arm wrestling, man. That's the dream come true, right? You're getting stuff for doing the thing that we love and training hard and being successful at it. So that is definitely the dream. Coming from me. So good job. Congratulations, man. That's awesome that they give him stuff like that. I know Angerbayev got a SUV, or was given a car when he got home one time. Dude, some of these guys, especially in other countries, they're gifted awesome stuff when they're good at arm wrestling. So good. I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. Good for them, man. Good for them. Moving forward, posted by Sandwich Arm. GTAL Sports Arm Wrestling Group. Oh, here we're doing this again. Every few months, we're going to have a post about GTAL Sports Arm Wrestling Group. Oh, man. Hello, everyone. I'm one of the current admins of the GTAL Sports Arm Wrestling Group. I'm trying to help bring more current arm wrestling information and blogs to our group. We have hundreds of arm wrestlers registered on our group, but we hope to bring that number to the thousands. I hope that some of you fellow arm wrestlers are interested in signing up so you can network with other pullers on the site. I just need some general opinions on the layout and content on our page. I'm pretty new to the arm wrestling world, so I'm open to some healthy criticism and advice. Please take a look and let me know what you think. Thanks. Okay. Wait, if you're new, why are you adminning arm wrestling group if you're new to arm wrestling? Anyway, okay. Yeah, they keep posting these links to this GTAL Sports Arm Wrestling group. I think the GTAL Sports thing it's that website that has like a page for every different type of sport, basketball and baseball and softball, and then there's an arm wrestling section, and so they keep trying to post on here on the Reddit thing, trying to get us to join the arm wrestling section of their sports website. I guess any people talking about arm wrestling is a good thing and good for you guys. I don't know. Doesn't seem like people are loving it too much, but hopefully you guys create a good community and you are able to give back to the sport. Moving forward, posted by Arm Reddit. More practice polling with myself and RVJ, and this is a video of him practicing with RVJ at the Christmas party over at where's it at? I can't think of the state, but it's at Badger Drew's house. He has a big party every year, a big arm wrestling practice / party, and it looks like RVJ was there arm wrestling with a bunch of people, and I hear he just arm wrestles till his arm falls off. So if you guys go there, you can sneak in some wins on RVJ. Tell him you got his hammer. But these are good matches, man. You're definitely strong. It's cool watching you grip up with RVJ and stuff like that. He's just a monster, I don't know if you want any tips or anything like that from what I see, but generally RVJ's angle was way better than yours in a lot of these as far as where the side of his shoulder and the back of his hand line up. He was cutting across your bicep from the get-go, which puts you on your bicep while he's able to utilize his chest, his lats, his traps, and everything like that. It's easier to explain in person, but it was just he was cutting across your bicep in the angles wise, and since you guys were hooking, that meant a lot. Moving forward, posted by NNQ2603, The Grip, Wes Bjornsson about Ryan Bowen. Title of the video was Screw Ryan Bowen, and basically it's a video of Wes talking about how he doesn't understand the hate that Ryan is receiving, and about how a lot of Ryan's followers have turned on him and were talking crap because he did so poorly, in Zloty. And I don't know. I mean, I've talked to Ryan since then and stuff like that, and if you're going to try to be a high level arm wrestler, there's so many losses, guys. Whether you put yourself out there and you make a YouTube channel like Ryan did, or whether you don't post anything, either way, there's losses coming, and they're hard. They're really hard to take. There's I've touched on this before. Everybody has those big losses coming where you think you're the shit and you go somewhere and you get destroyed. It just happens to every puller. And if it doesn't happen to you, that means you're not putting yourself out there. So whatever, sit in your basement and don't ever go compete. But so, it's just the fact that he has a big channel and we all saw it. But nothing different than I've gone through or any other top arm wrestler has gone through. There's a million times where we all get our ass whooped on a main stage. It just happens. And at least he has the balls to go out there and compete on the big stage. So hopefully Ryan keeps moving forward, producing good content, and helps out the sport. Okay, moving forward, posted by NNQ2603, Evolution of Schoolboy, Arm Wrestling Journey 2016 to 2019. So this is a video posted by Alex Toproll about his brother, Schoolboy, whose name is Alexander as well, and him getting into arm wrestling and coming up to his current level or strength level or status. Cool video. I mean, everybody loves that Schoolboy and stuff. He's a he's a viral video, just walking around. Anytime they put Schoolboy in a video, then everybody seems to watch it. So good for him. It's a big thing for that channel. I've never met him. I've never met Alex's little brother. I mean, I've hung out with Alex like 7 or 8 times probably. When I was in New York, he picked me up and we went and worked out. We ate sushi together, me, him, and his wife. But I've never met his brother. Supposedly he's pretty tall. I'm 6'8", but I think he's like 6'5" or 6'6" or something like that. I think he's pretty tall, and definitely looks strong. The kid is definitely strong and has youth on his side and is moving up. So hopefully he stays focused and dedicated and keeps moving forward. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to arm wrestle him. I have no idea how strong he is. He definitely has some wins on some pretty strong looking people. But yeah, I'd love to pull him for sure. Moving forward, posted by Madara Hikaru. Weak top roll. I've been training my top roll for almost a year and noticed zero improvements on the table. I have a strong hook, and against experienced pullers, I gravitate towards the hook because my top roll just gets smashed. Should I continue training my top roll or just go all in on training my hook? I compared my lifts on pronation, and they were similar to that of others, but their top roll is way better. Would training pronation at least help me defend against top rollers or help my high hook? Feels like I'm wasting my time trying to do something I'm not meant to do. Appreciate any advice. Thanks. I commented on this post as well, but basically this goes back to when you're trying to be well-rounded as an arm wrestler, right? So say he said he's traditionally a hook puller, and now he's trying to top roll. He says the lifts in the gym are there, right? The lifts, he's strong in the movements that are supposedly needed for top rolling, but he just keeps getting crushed. So if it's not the strength thing, so he just said the strength is there, it's something else. Well, in my experiences, guys, if you hook all the time and you're used to going into people's power, hooking is generally going into someone's strength and trying to be stronger than them, right? It's throwing your bicep, your chest, your shoulder, and everything in there, and kind of relying on the fact that your big muscle groups are stronger than their big muscle groups, right? In a lot of senses. Now, top rolling is more evading and trying to use small your joints and your fingers and small movements to gain a leverage advantage so you can win, right? So it's like speed and leverage that kind of make a good top roller. So if you are generally a hook arm wrestler and you have a very general overview of a top roll, like, yeah, you bend their hand back, and you think you can just go in there and start top rolling people by just bending their hand back, it's not that easy. You've been so used to going into people's power that now you're letting people get a great grip on you because you like the feel of it. When you arm wrestle someone, you generally like the feel of them getting a hold of you because you want to get a hold of them. So you have to change your whole outlook towards arm wrestling. You are now evading. You are now targeting their very specific parts of their hand and fingers and wrist, so that way you can bend it back. Now, there are some people that top roll and go right through people's wrists, they top roll into their hand, but those guys are very strong top rollers, right? Those guys their numbers aren't, competitive with other people as far as just pronation. They're way above, right? And so you can top roll through someone's hand. But generally, 90% of top rollers top roll high-handed, not low-hand. And if you top roll high-handed and you don't know how to make space in your hand, you don't know how to target people's fingers, you don't know any kind of tricks within how to flex your thumb, how to get people off the back of your hand so they don't have good coverage on you. If you don't know how to do these things and how to like amplify your ability to post or how to nullify their moves and their hook, then yeah, you're gonna get crushed all the time, dude. So I would spend time when trying to top roll and at practice, spend time making sure you understand the priorities of top rolling and get into their fingers and really fly backwards. I'll purposefully fly towards my own pin pad to put pressure into their fingers. So I'll race them down there so I have pressure in their fingers before they start clamping. Things like that. You have to hit into their fingers. The stronger the person is that you're trying to arm wrestle, the more you respect them, the stronger their hand is, the more you have to fly into their fingertips. It's imperative. Because if you go at all into someone's hand that's stronger than you or as strong as you, then you're going to be screwed. Remember that. Always go into the fingertips and evade, right? If that's what you're trying to do for an outside move in general. Okay, moving forward. Posted by Valeriolic. Travis Bagent, 300 IQ move decoded. Okay, so this is the one hating on Travis. Let's see. He posted a bunch of steps, 1 through 7. He says, 1, have a lot of people that watch your matches. 2, call yourself the strongest in the world. 3, make everybody believe you're weak. And then it's a video of him losing to Chance Shaw. 4, big promoter wants an athlete to be famous, winning Travis Bagent, and sets up a match for a lot of money to get him there, thinking his athlete that is going to be used for future promotions is going to win. And then it's an example of when Travis went to Moldova and he beat Georgi Svetkov. And 5, Travis came in prepared and gets a lot of money. 6, profit. 7, repeat. So basically they're talking about Travis Bagent and how Travis doesn't train. He goes around, gets his ass kicked, doesn't really care who he arm wrestles, takes losses to to a lot of people, just joking around until you put the money on the table, or you put up a lot of money for him. Then all of a sudden he trains up, gets huge, gets jacked, shows up, and beats people. I'm telling you guys, I don't know how many times I got to touch on this Travis thing. He has been arm wrestling since he was like 6, guys. So he has the tendons, the bones, and he knows every trick in the book for arm wrestling. He knows how to cheat. He knows Travis is an arm wrestler, right? Whether he's actively like obsessed with arm wrestling right now or not, his body, his bones, everything about him has been raised by arm wrestling, right? So all he has to do when he wants to go win a tournament is just stack on a bunch of horsepower. So spend 3 or 4 months in the gym. His body remembers it. It's like riding a bike. He still arm wrestles. And all he has to do is stack on a bunch of horsepower. And he knows exactly where and how to do it. And then just show up at a tournament. He doesn't have to worry about everything else, his joints and everything, allowing him to access power or speed or anything like that. He has it all dialed in. So that's all he does. He stays deflated all year, waits around for an opportunity, or year or 2, 3 years until someone sets something up. Then he gets big, shows up, wins it, and deflates again, and goes around and hosts tournaments. And I can't hate on him for that. He's trying to use the name he built, right? So, moving forward, posted by Pop Lola. Really interested in arm wrestling, but I don't know if there's anyone in Macedonia. So I'm asking if anybody is from my country and if there's any arm wrestling scene. So I actually was private messaging Pop Lola about this, and I got him in touch, hopefully, with a multiple-time world champion from Greece. And so he's supposed to be contacting her and hopefully finding out if there's any teams in Macedonia or if there's any arm wrestling scene out there. I don't have a lot of contacts out in Greece and Macedonia, but I did my best because I do know one guy who's Greek and went back there and arm wrestled recently, so I hit him up and did some networking for you. So hopefully that works out. Pop Lola, I wish you the best, man. Moving forward, posted by Nemt, conventional training methods. So I want to ask you guys, do any of you have any training methods to share that everyone can do in your typical local gym? For examples like this, and he has a YouTube video of it's Coach Ray and Yanis Amalins, and they're doing like wrist curls and stuff like that, and just in a gym. So they're using like normal gym materials. They're not using anything arm wrestling specific. I know that it won't substitute specific exercises with custom made handles and shit, but still it's better than nothing, and in my honest opinion will help you beat your bros at the weekly friend gatherings. I know the title of the video is how to get huge forearms, so not exactly arm wrestling specific, but it's made by arm wrestling dudes who run a popular arm wrestling channel, and by Giannis, who is kind of known arm wrestler, ? And they say it helps, so yeah. You guys, all you need that you could be successful with is something that goes over your hand, like a towel or martial arts belt, something that can contour to the shape of your hand, and you can attach it to a pulley system, and that's it, and maybe like a dumbbell. And you could do fine with that. As long as you know what you're doing and how to target and stuff like that, and how to do different types of lifts, you could be successful with that. So yes, you could definitely train yourself to be an amazing arm wrestler at a normal gym. Now, as you get higher into the sport and as you take the sport more serious, you start you start isolating a lot of the muscles, and you start doing very specific small movements. But that's not until like you're trying to become a world champion and you're at the very top. If you guys are just trying to get stronger for arm wrestling, hell yeah, do a ton of pull-ups, do your wrist curls, do a bunch of cable flies. You'll be all right, man. That's all you really need. The wrist stuff, like you see in that video, they're doing wrist curls with the end of a barbell. That's fine. Or you can do wrist curls with just a rotating handle, like a regular handle they have in a pulley system at a gym. You could do wrist curls with that. Now remember, the only reason you want a big handle, the only reason people make giant handles is to test your fingers, right? A small diameter handle that you can fit in the palm of your hand will still make your wrist way stronger, right? Everybody always thinks you need these giant handles all the time. You don't. You don't have to have that to get your wrist stronger. And when you go in the straps, you don't need your fingers. All you need is your wrist. So you're good. But yeah, you can definitely make it all happen at a conventional gym. You don't need to have everything arm wrestling specific. It's just when you're trying to get real serious, you want to start isolating a lot really specific spots in your hand and wrists and stuff. Then yeah, maybe looking into some arm wrestling specific handles can help you out. Okay, moving forward. Posted by FRMAL Formal. What kind of arm exercises do you guys recommend for arm wrestling? Like what parts of the arm to train? Well, that's a very vague question because arm wrestling is a lot of different movements. But if I just, I guess, trying to answer it as vaguely as you asked it, you want to do pull-ups. Man, I guess that's the best exercise you can do. General exercise for arm wrestling. It does a few things, guys. Not only does it work the necessary muscles you need for arm wrestling, right? As far as we'll talk about neutral grip pull-ups. That's what we're talking about right now. Neutral grip pull-ups. Not only is it teach you to, it makes your lats stronger, makes your hands stronger, your wrist stronger. It works your brachialis and your biceps and stuff as you're pulling up. So, and you tighten up your core and everything like that. But also, it teaches you to learn how, like, it messes with your nervous system to teach you how to apply yourself while controlling your body weight in your hands, right? So when you're doing a lot of pull-ups and you're doing a lot of things like that where you're supporting your whole body weight in your hand, then when you arm wrestle, you're used to controlling your whole body weight and throwing your whole body weight around through your hand. You get that? You get what I'm saying? It gets you used to having all your connection points from your hand all the way to your toes, but all while all the power is going through your hand. That's what pull-ups do. So yeah, it definitely adds power, just like from the muscles, but it gets your body used to having all the pressure in your hand. I guess that's the best way to word that. So definitely do a lot of pull-ups, man. And then what parts of the arm to train? All of them. I mean, literally train every part of your arm. I mean, that sounds so dumb, but there's times where you use your triceps, your bicep, your brachialis, your brachioradialis, all your flexors, your extensors, radial deviation, which is like your up pressure and your knuckles, all that, and everything. You have to train all of it because there's, if you want to just get good for arm wrestling in general, then there you go. Then I give you a vague answer: train all of them, all the muscles in your arm. Moving forward, posted by Min Hale. When is a good idea to grip low? It seems like regardless of your pulling style, grip high and raise your wrist is something I've always been advised to do. So when does a low grip come in handy? Oh, I like this question. So I'll grip someone low, especially if I'm hooking. If you are hooking and the person you're arm wrestling is top rolling, right? And you know that you're stronger than them, but they might have a stronger hand than you. But in general, once you get on that arm, you're way stronger than them, right? They just have a way stronger hand than you. Then gripping low below their wrist joint, not ridiculously low, but gripping where your bottom two fingers at least are maybe below their wrist joint will allow you. It's very hard to top roll somebody when they grab you like that because you can't do any tricks. You can't make your wrist fly back and target fingertips as well and stuff like that. So it really crushes the top roll. But so yeah, I mean, if you're way stronger than the other person, grabbing them low takes away their options as an arm wrestler, so they can't do a lot of cool ninja moves and target your fingertips really well, right? So it keeps you in control. Then it kind of forces them to have to do an inside move. Generally, if someone grabs you low, the best way for you to utilize that, because the lower they grab down the flagpole and closer to the base, the more strength you can convey through that bone because they're getting closer to your body. The closer I grab to your body, the more power you can put through it, right? Because I'm grabbing closer to the joint, your elbow joint. So trying to run from that is not utilizing the fact that they're grabbing you low. The moment someone grabs you low, it has just multiplied the amount of power you can put as an inside move, right? So I know it sucks. I know a lot of you top rollers hate hooking, but when someone grabs you low, the odds are they're going to crush your top roll, and so then you stand up really tight and tall and you press or you hook as hard as you can because them grabbing you low is going to amplify how much power you can put into that in that hand. So just telling you guys, I know it's hard, right? When someone first grabbed me low, I freaked out, and I always try to top roll them. When they grab me low like that, I try to post back, and it's the worst idea in the world because you go right into their hand because you can't do any cool tricks when they're grabbing below your wrist. but just go sideways. I know hopefully no one breaks their arm doing that, but that's the way to utilize the power. So yeah, I grip low if there's a crazy top roller and it's hard for me to get a hold of them, but I know I'm way stronger than them and they're being all squirrely in the hand, then I'll grab them low just to hold on to them. Let's see. Or I guess you can also grab low if you're trying to set up your low hand top roll. I guess that's a thing too, if you want to do it that way. But that's more just to hold them into your hand. So that way they try to lock them into your hand, so they try to clamp down with their bottom too. And so you grip low as your low hand top rolling. But that's not focusing on the grip. That's focusing on the offensive move of low hand top rolling, not the actual fingers of, and you gripping low. That sounds so confusing. Sorry. Moving forward, posted by Arm Reddit. Happy New Year, arm wrestling subreddit. What are some of your training and performance goals for 2020? Oh man, I'm gonna go to Arnold's. And as of right now, my plan is to go to Zloty. I really just want to not map out any stupid set goals because I know how to do all the stuff I want to do. But I want to not disappoint myself this year. I want to, reach some of the potential that I know I have and not get bogged down by bullshit is the best way to put it. So hopefully you guys see me break out in some awesome match and destroy some awesome people. I'm feeling really strong. So yeah, that's my goals for 2020 is to not let myself down. And I really want to teach my daughter how to play basketball. That's a bit. A lot of you guys don't know I played college basketball for a little bit at some community college. Obviously, I'm 6'8", so. But I love basketball. That was my first love. So I'm going to teach my daughter how to play basketball this year. Damn it, I'm going to do it. Hopefully I'll check that out. I would like to see some of your guys' goals. Okay. Moving forward, here's one. Posted by Sen Koan. I don't feel like I'm increasing strength and it's taking a toll on me. So the story is basically there's this one guy in my there's one guy in my school who's a badminton player, and he's one of my classmates. Despite not being serious in the sport, he has a monster side pressure. His forearms are rock hard, and his entire body is tight. He has been able to fully maximize his strength after some techniques I have taught him. Before this, I've always been the one to win against him. Now, despite him being humble and saying we are 50-50, the matter of the fact is it's actually more like 80-20. I've been arm wrestling with him for the entirety of 2019, and what I've come to realize during that period of losing is that I could never catch up to his intense grip and strong biceps, most likely from his sport. The times I've been able to get him are if right from the go I fully commit into a strong top roll, but from the top roll there's still a high probability of him pulling me back into his power. It's just unbelievable to me because I've been training my sport for way longer than he has, and it's just frustrating. Tomorrow's the rematch. I'm considering either to throw everything into a top roll or low gripping to catch his hook, followed by a quick shoulder roll. Any suggestion on how to pull him out of his shoulder involvement? I can't seem to get his arm to detach from his body. Okay. Well, you didn't mention the size or the weight, so we'll assume that he's the same size and weight as you. He has monster side pressure, his forearms are rock hard, and his entire body is tight. He's fully maximized his strength. He's fully maximized it? Come on, man. You just started arm wrestling with him for 1 year, and he's as strong as he'll ever get? Doubtful. Highly doubt it. Okay, so you were beating him, you showed him some stuff, and now he's really staying tight, and he's beating you. And the only way you can beat him now is if you top roll really fast and you pry his hand back. That's basically what I'm getting out of this. And you want to beat him ASAP. So basically it's like when I arm wrestled Larry Wheels, there's a video of me arm wrestling Larry Wheels and Alex Toproll and his wife. His wife flashed Larry Wheels twice. And then on the third time, he was like, oh, so I just need to carve my wrist in, right? So it could be an example of someone that was really strong that didn't really understand how to arm wrestle, and then once he started putting it together, now it's clicking, And in his body, just like we were talking about earlier, in the nervous system, his body's learning how to sync all his muscles together for arm wrestling. So I doubt he got stronger. He just learned how to use the muscles he does have. Okay, so now it sounds like he's too strong for you. This guy is too strong for you. That's what it sounds like, right? Well, then it's time to either use power and speed and fly back into his hand like you're doing, or stay high and keep posting into his. You can hook him like a high hook, or you could top roll if you're really that afraid of his power. Now you're saying he's reeling you back in, so you top roll and then he reels you back in. Well, then it sounds like you're top rolling a little bit, getting his hand bent back a little bit, and then trying to go sideways back into his hand. That's not the thing you want to do. Once you take someone's hand, you have to secure it, right? So each arm wrestling match is broken down into 3 steps. Step 1 is secure the hand, right? Or get the hand the way you want it to be, right? So if you want a top roll, then you want his hand to be flopped back. If you want a hook, then you want your hand to land in a hook, right? So you have to secure your hand the way you want it to be. So make sure you top roll him. Don't top roll him kind of. Top roll him all the way. Dominate his hand. That doesn't mean his hand has to be flopped all the way back, and his fingers pointed towards the table. I mean, sure, that'd be fine. But just, you have to top roll him enough where you feel like you have dominated his hand. There is no chance of him coming back. So until you do that, until you have dominated his hand, don't try to pin him. Don't try to go sideways. Don't try to do anything. Keep posting your arms straight up or even backwards towards your own pin pad if you have to. Everything to get his hand. Once you have dominated his hand, then step 2, you get ready to pin. Meaning, you're going to slide your elbow over. You're going to stand up tall. You're going to tighten up. You're going to post your elbow back. Or you're going to teeter back, and post back while maybe sliding your elbow forward at the same time. That way, now you have him completely extended. You have him outside his shoulder and he's opened up. So step 1, you secured your hand the way you want it to look. Step 2 is you got ready to pin. And then step 3 is pin. But you cannot try to skip step 2 or the end of step 1. It sounds like you're top rolling him barely, and if he's reeling you back, I guarantee if he's reeling you back in from a top roll, that means you're not completely controlling his hand, or he wouldn't be able to do that. So put more effort in controlling his hand at the beginning. Really post backwards and do everything you can straight backwards. Don't even worry about pinning until you have dominated his hand. Then once you completely control his hand, start worrying about tightening up, going sideways, and then pinning him. That's my best advice if you're going to continue to try to top roll him. All right, besides that, you can try using speed, like a shoulder roll, but that's dangerous, just letting you know. But don't get discouraged, man. Don't get discouraged. There's been times, I used to have a guy on my team who we loved to death, who had been arm wrestling. He moved from out of country to train with me and my team. He came out here, and he'd been arm wrestling about 11 years or so, or 10 years, he told me. And he... No, I think it was 8 years. Sorry, he'd been arm wrestling 8 years, and he came out here. He joined our team, and immediately he was like a little bit above middle of the pack, right? Definitely wasn't stronger than me, but he was a lighter guy. He was about 200 pounds, and he was with us for a few months. Took it really serious. We loved having him, and then we had a new guy join up on the sport, who was 200 pounds as well, brand new, never arm wrestled anything serious at all. Came in and he started beating this guy. Right. Well, the guy got really frustrated, and he tried for a while, for a few months, trained really hard, tried to take it really serious, and then he just couldn't beat this new guy that came in. Well, the new guy just has different connections points, had led a different life and everything like that, and so he just was a really strong dude. Came in off the streets extremely strong, and our teammate couldn't beat him, and so he tried for 8 months or so, 7-8 months to beat him. Would squeak in a win or two on him, but generally would always lose to him. And then he ended up quitting. He not only did he move here from out of country, he ended up going all the way home and everything like that and quitting arm wrestling for the most part because he couldn't beat this new guy. Right? That was 90% of the reason he quit. That's what he told me. He said, "How am I going to train 8 years and this guy just comes in out of nowhere and beats me? Obviously, this sport isn't meant for me." And I was trying to tell him, I said, "Listen, you trained for 8 years like shit. First off, you came from a place where you had no set team. You guys weren't, your training regimen wasn't correct. You weren't getting good table time. I guarantee you weren't training properly. So saying that you were looking into the sport and being a fan of the sport for 8 years, and actually training hard for it are two entirely separate things. I guarantee if he would have stayed here and kept training and really trained smart and intelligently and worked on his joints and everything like that, that he would have been fine. But he gave up too fast. This sport takes years, guys. It takes years to get really good and get everything caught up, unless you're going to do a ton of steroids. But other than that, it's going to take you guys a long time. So just you're like strap in for the long run, right? You have to understand that. Just keep plugging away. Keep plugging away. Be the guy that outlasts the other guys. That's my best tip for you to do that. Don't quit, man. Just because some guy beats you, that is new. That doesn't mean anything. The odds are they're not going to love it. They'll fall off. You just keep training. All right? You'll be there. You'll get there eventually, no matter what. Promise. As long as you don't quit. Okay. Moving forward. I got like 10 minutes left. This one was interesting. Posted by Minhale. Last week, he posted a survey for the subreddit. He forgot to enable the option that allows anyone to answer, so only those with a Google account could respond. But there were still 88 people that responded. So it's kind of interesting. Some of the statistics that he learned was most of the people are from 58% of the people are from the United States or Canada, like North America. 20% from Europe, 10% from Asia, and the rest from Australia. Okay, so most people are from the United States. 62% are in the ages 18 through 29. 23% are 30 through 39, and 9% under 18. So most people, 18 to 20. That sounds about right. I would have guessed that. Bunch of different people from different jobs are in here. Most 34% are in the 75 to 90 kg weight class. Okay, so that's kind of spread out pretty evenly. 32% are 90 to 110 kg. And then there's a couple fat guys like me in the 110 plus kg weight class. Most people are new. I could have guessed that. 70% train both arms equally. Yeah, that makes sense. Most people arm wrestle with both arms. People ask me that all the time. You arm wrestle with both arms? Yeah, I do both. Why do people always expect me to be arm wrestling with just one arm? I know that's kind of weird to me. 54% do not belong to an arm wrestling club. 46% do. So most people don't have an arm wrestling club. Guys, if you don't have an arm wrestling club, create one. Start one. It's not hard. It's really not hard. You don't even have to have a table, man. Just do eventually get one, but just find somewhere to arm wrestle, find a friend, and start training with each other. Safety first. Do a lot of research on how to not break your arm, and then just start putting pressure on the arms and pulling backwards and start gearing up your arms. Eventually, you guys will take it more serious. You'll get a table. You'll get other people, but just start your own team. That's what I did. If you can't make it to a team, or you're too far away, or there's no one around you at all, then start your own. Let's see, of those who are a member of the club, 56% have... it talks about the size of clubs. Most clubs are between 10 and 30 members. It makes sense. Most clubs aren't huge. Most have been in the club for under 6 months. 45% of people have been there for less than 6 months. Well, there's a lot of new people, man. I'm telling you, this big surge we had from all the Juji stuff, the Devin stuff, the Larry Wheels stuff, everybody getting into arm wrestling and posting about it, we're getting a huge surge in attendance and in interest in the sport, which is amazing. Dude, this social media stuff is big, and people don't understand how much that's helping us. And so in the arm wrestling channels as well, Ryan Bowen and Alex Toproll are huge. It's helping out a lot. 70% or 69% discovered competitive arm wrestling through YouTube. See? There you go. Boom. 63% of people practice weekly. That's good. I like weekly right now. I'm switching to every other week, but that's only because I'm at a place in my career where it makes sense for me to switch to every other week. Right? You gotta make a smart decision based off of where you're at and what's important. If you're new, you should be arm wrestling twice a week, in my opinion. 56 have not brought anyone into the sport. 37% have introduced a couple people. You gotta spread the word. You gotta think about your cousins, your friends. There's not just men. There's females too, guys. If they get into this, it's awesome. It just gets the sport bigger, right? Definitely think about how to get ladies in here. But think about in your brain. Think about athletes, people you used to know in school, people who are just gifted, or people that are just competitive. They don't have to have an athletic background. They can just be pushing pencils. They can be have desk jobs and still want to do arm wrestling. So a lot of people tend to, when they think about arm wrestling and they think about recruiting, all they think about is what big strong guys do I know? Oh, that guy's big and strong. I'll recruit him. No, that's not the guy you always want to get. There's other people that they aren't strong yet that have it in their head and in their mind, and they're competitive, and they will get strong. Don't just try to look for big meatheads. We've got enough of those, right? Think for everybody, and smaller light guys too. Not just big, giant, muscular dudes. Let's see. 27% say technique is their weakest area. Yeah, I guess. I mean, everybody learning that stuff just takes time on the table. And if most people in the subreddit are new, then yeah, technique is going to be a hard thing to come by because you have to spend time. It takes time to get that. And if you're new, then you don't have it all yet. 60% choose top roll as their favorite technique. 35% say hook. Yes, that makes sense as well. When you realize that there's leverage and speed and ways you can beat stronger people at the beginning by hitting to their fingers and exposing their wrist, then that makes a lot of sense for people to want to do that and to not go into other people's power. Most people don't trust their strength and their hooking power, so they try to find ways to run from it, which is okay. I was one of those people as well. But I think over time, a lot of those top rollers will see the light and end up hooking in a lot of cases. But who knows? Right? It takes time to develop your elbow and everything so you can hook intelligently and be powerful as well. 44% have never been injured. 47% have a few minor injuries. Okay, that's good. 25% list Devin Larratt as their favorite arm wrestler. 13% say John Brzenk, and then it gets really chopped up after that. No surprise there. Devin is the people's hero, for sure. Surprised you don't hear more about Denis Saplekov. His name's not even listed. And 24% train only for arm wrestling. 30% do other gym general strength training. 15% do powerlifting. So you got general strength athletes in here that are new to arm wrestling. Cool. I mean, a lot of that stuff I would have figured anyway, but it's good that someone did a poll and we actually got some numbers behind it. Hopefully you guys keep training for arm wrestling specifically. Last thing, posted by Snickcat. If you had to do one exercise for the rest of 2020, what would it be? Top rolling would be mine. And then there's a picture of him flexing his forearm and lifting something with a martial arts belt. But I'm pretty sure the picture's there to show us his forearm. Awesome. So you said what exercise, or are you talking about what style? Because top rolling is a move on the arm wrestling table. Are you talking about what? Oh man, it's confusing me. You said what exercise top rolling would be mine. Okay, well what move would I be doing on the arm wrestling table? I don't know. It depends on the arm and the situation. But what exercise, if I could only do one exercise, like in the gym, what lift? One exercise? Oh man, if I could only do one, I would probably... Oh man. Well, I already have a pretty good wrist and stuff like that. So probably some bicep stuff. So bicep curls, get my bicep stronger. There you go. I mean, hopefully my hand would hold up and would just run to the strap if not. And just get my bicep immovable. I guess that's what I would do for 2020, personally. But everybody has their own career and their own things they need to work on. So that's just for me. I'd try to be able to curl 300 pounds like Denis Saplekov, and then no one can move my bicep. Anyway, guys, all right, that's the end of it. Sorry it took me so long to get this up to you guys. I will upload it tonight. Like I said, I'll be releasing that practice video pretty soon from the team. I will be having an interview coming up. I have a couple people in mind. I actually reached out to a few, and it's coming. I'm going to have another interview with somebody, and it should be entertaining. If you guys need anything at all, message me. If not, post it, and I will go over everything again next week. I'll talk to you guys later. Go out there, be bold as shit. See ya.